There was a rumor about Lane Kiffin and a rumor that he was going to be fired. And so instead of going with that on air, I kind of pocketed it because it didn't make sense, right? They were number one in the country. They were playing well. I don't get it. Then the story was that Ed Orgeron was going to offer up, if he got the LSU job, he would hire Lane Kiffin, to which got me thinking, like, wait, why would Lane Kiffin leave Tuscaloosa, the best program in the country, on the cusp of being back-to-back national champions, only to take up with one of their rivals from the exact same division? And the argument was for more money, like, for what? Like, LSU's not home. He wouldn't be the head coach. Like, that didn't make any sense. And then he couldn't get the Houston job. Major Applewhite, who will join us later on the show, got it. He was supposedly up for other jobs, although it seemed too scattershot how many jobs he was supposedly up for, which led me to believe, and it was reaffirmed by people I've talked to, that a lot of those rumors were begun by Lane Kiffin himself, because Lane wanted out, had to get out. Then the story came out today that not only did he agree to terms with Florida Atlantic, a job that many people have, in fact, seen as like a diamond in the rough at that level of football, right? Have their own on-campus facility. It's right in the heart of South Florida, where there's plenty of players. And they'll need plenty of players because, I mean, have you seen Butch Jones at Florida International? He's at Florida Atlantic. You got McElwain at Florida. You got Florida State that's still rolling, getting players. In Miami now, it's got Mark Richten. They're getting dudes, right? Like, you got some name-wise coaches down there they're going to have to get after in recruiting. But he's getting $1 million a year. Now, would you sacrifice $400,000 a year when you got money in the bank to move to a place in which probably a little bit better to live, right? Florida Atlantic's in Fort Lauderdale, which is not far from Miami, so you could live in Miami. Remember, Lane Kiffin is either divorced or in the process of getting divorced, but not bad. Not a college town, but not bad. You can kind of be your own guy. I'd say that's an upgrade. But is it $400,000 worth to become a head coach as being the offensive coordinator for the best program in the country? Maybe. But the more likely scenario is what I told you when I walked out of the building Friday night, Klug, and has, in fact, been reaffirmed by everybody I talked to in the business. If he's talking to Florida Atlantic about that job, and we thought he might get Houston or maybe get Oregon or maybe get one of these other jobs, and Florida Atlantic becomes the job he settles on, that signals that he didn't have a job waiting for him when he got back to Tuscaloosa. Which, he's got a true freshman quarterback who he's done a really nice job with. You go back 3 years ago, and they went to the first college football playoff, and they had a converted athlete into a quarterback he did a nice job with. Last year, more of a true pocket passer, did a nice job with. Like, he's done a pretty good job. And don't get me wrong, Lane Kiffin, the master of the bubble screen, and there are times in which he gets way, 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 way too cute. Just too cute. But that's stunning. I mean, they're 2 wins away in which they'll be sizable favorites. And by the way, put me down. Is it still 16 points, Washington being a dog? Put me down for UW and the points. Right now, I want down UW and the points. If it's 16 points, it's Chris Peterson. It's a month to prepare. It's Trick Play City. It's who's going to call the plays for Alabama. Alabama's got some injuries as well. Put me down, not to win, 16 points. It's great home field advantage. It's okay. I've seen Chris Peterson in the Fiesta Bowl enough to know I like the dog in this one. He's got a good quarterback as well. But it's not as surprising that he took a head coaching job as it is that it was Florida Atlantic and they didn't have to throw a bunch of money at him. $1 million a year for a guy that was making 1.4, and it would stand to reason, had he had a job waiting for him when he got back, you win another national title, you're going to get a bonus, you're going to get a bump. He'd probably be at 1.5 next year. Don't give me this, it's because it's Florida and he wanted to be a head coach. The only thing that signals to anybody with a brain, and I got at least half of one, is Lane didn't have a job waiting for him in Tuscaloosa. a marriage of convenience that worked out really well, but not a marriage that's meant to last the test of time.